Good evening, all. Uh, Today we are going to study about one of the most interesting topic of CYSA class, which is all related to logs and log management, and then from network-based logs and host-based logs, how to actually get into the logs and how to investigate on things based on the logs, how to do a log analysis. So basically, this is actually a day-to-day job of an CYSA administrator, where to play with the logs of the system. So this topic will be completely covering regarding of complete about logs. So starting with that, we are initially going to understand about what is the security intelligence collection analysis platform, what is that on intelligence sources or network-based attacks and host-based attacks. So how can we differentiate between network and host-based attacks, and how can we find out network intelligence from those sources? And then we will be able to see about how to do log analysis and using SASIM to same solution. Okay, let's continue. So, what is security intelligence? The security intelligence means it's actually a concept of, it's like the word we call it as intelligence. Intelligence is like a process of collecting up of evidences. Okay. In all the states, like say the state of when the system is running, when the system is stopped, when the system is initiated to make a restart, when the system is on its process. So every time when a system is performing an action or an event, it is being analyzed about what exactly it is being doing, and then stored accordingly to observe for any further activities, like say any other relational events, whether it is actually trying to match with what exactly it is trying to do. So security intelligence is actually a concept of how a data is being analyzed, collected, processed, integrated, evaluated, and interpreted when an information system is processing a data. And what all things is happening on the behavioral changes, which will be logged into a file, and then we will be able to understand about what exactly that changes is supposed to be. Is it going to give a meaning of what exactly that application was running about it, or any anomaly can be detected? This is the way how a threat intelligence fields are nowadays working on it. So security intelligence have given us a picture about how to pursue with the threat intelligence platform as well. So basically, as when we say about security intelligence, so the process through which a data generated in the ongoing use of an information system, whenever a information system is used. So in that scenario, what it does is at the time of usage, it start to collect and process and then integrate and evaluate what exactly the data which is actually been running on it, data is being performing on it, and then it is analyzed and interpreted to give the meaning about what would be that particular analysis and match it, and to understand whether this is what exactly it is supposed to be doing. So the security intelligence is the same thing. Then what are the benefits of security intelligence? It's faster detection and remediation of threats, because if it is if this sort of information is shared between the people, then if that particular anomaly is being seen in some other environment, the moment it sees in your environment, it is able to say that, hey, this is a threat and you have to stop it. Okay, so you'll be able to detect it before it get executed in your system. And there is a remediation also, and we fix accordingly for the same. Improve regulatory compliances, yes, because all the regulatory compliances nowadays says that, okay, you should have a threat intelligence field to understand what is the real time and latest over in the market. So it improves the regulatory information, reduce fraud, threat, and data leakage, because already, as I said, if it is not a zero-day attack, the behavior is being known, and such type of behavior will be blocked at the time of when it being seen in the network. Reduction of effort, need to provide security and deal with fallouts, ability to deal potential weaknesses before exploit occurs. So these are the benefits, some of the benefits of using security intelligence. Challenges of security intelligence collection. So now where actually we are getting challenges on, like, okay, We are actually saying that okay, it's a mode of collecting and preserving and integrating and evaluating analysis of data. But where actually we are getting stuck with that one. So basically, when we say about security intelligence or when we say about collecting of data, our first thing is to segregation of data. That is, what data is relevant. So how actually you are going to do this proper segregation to find the filter out only I need this type of data. And then is processing data to make it useful. So when sometimes the data will not be in a format where you will be able to read it out from the file itself. So you are able to what you do, you have to process it in a meaningful way. Then only you'll be able to use it and understand it from the system. So that is also going to be a challenging in the log management or when we say about the security intelligence. Producing actionable intelligence. So basically what we call it as actionable means if there is an incident and if I have the ability to trigger an action, so such type of events are called as actionable events. So intelligence which can give me an information about to proceed with an action. So if I want to get it, I have to get the meaning of what exactly it has been coming. So getting and producing an actionable intelligence is also a challenging for the security. Time and effort needed to set up, configure, and maintain security tools because most of the tools, when you say about intelligence data collection, you have to configure it properly so that it do the collection properly, it do the correlation properly, then it do the reporting properly. So that requires time and effort. Keeping data secure. Because nowadays, if you see, there are a lot of cloud solutions as well as on-premise solutions. People used to prefer to go with only on-premise just because they don't want to ship the data to the cloud. Even though there are some solutions which are available in the cloud, but such things in such scenarios, you should ensure that your data is not getting leaked in the cloud. So that is also one of the challenge on security intelligence platforms. Now let's see about how exactly this is being executed. Basically, it's a 5-stage process. Okay. So in an information system, what happens is initially we start with the collection process. It starts to analyze all the information which it comes through the information system and the data which is being handled by that one. And then we start to do collecting of data, what all things you are having saying on. Once that collection is going on, it's a continual process. What it does is it started to process a meaningful information from the system. Like, okay, what exactly is it doing? Okay, is it some sort of just give a second. So as I was telling, initially when it comes to the information systems, it start to collect up all the information systems information in a collection mode. Once after that, it will start to process up all the data which is available in the system. From the process data, it will be trying to find out if there is any information which I can understand from this particular technology. So basically, what is the challenge is over here. So it is not a one-way process; it's a continual recurring process because the files or the informations which is getting always updated. Always updated. The data is also always updated. So the collection process is also a continual process. Continual security monitoring, CSM. Okay, we can call it a CSM as well, but we will define it in a later stage. But anyway, so once after the collection process happens, so once after the processing of data happens, it's trying to analyze the meaning of the particular log, so particular intelligence what is collected. Once after the intelligence collected, it will try to understand, okay, I can make any dissemination and integration with any other solutions in the network, which can make an actionable trigger in that network. So it tried to understand if, okay, what are integrational way through which it can trigger up an action. Once after that, it will go with the planning and direction, saying that, okay, what is my maintenance or remediation stage, which I need to process. This is the 5-stage security incident collection lifecycle. Security incident collection plan. Determining what type of incidents you needed. Identify hardware and software sources for collecting and monitoring. Verify these sources from provided with the provided information you needed. Involve all departments for planning, integration, collection, and management. Basically, I will give an example. I have an example also here. I will show you the example. There, in a collection plan, so when you say about a collection plan, what are you trying to collect here? As we said that basically these are going to be the logs. Okay. There is no other way that you can collect something else from the networks. So what all things comes in your network? So you will have your Windows machines with, like, I mean, the desktops, your your laptops, your servers, then your applications, then your softwares, like most of this. The networking devices. So you have to define, you have to identify like, okay, I need, if I want to collect information, from where all I should collect the logs from. And then I should be able to clearly inform that, okay, if I need to maintain a network XYZ activity, these much systems are coming in practice. That means, okay, if I have to look for a remote RDP session, okay, I need to know is that, okay, I need to have my LDAP server, I need to have my network routers information, then the machine where it goes to. So basically, I will be able to see about where the connections comes from. The Active Directory authentication credential will Active Directory authentication will happen in the AD server. Then the Windows login will happen on the machine. So I will be able to understand. Okay, I need to have this for this particular activity. So like that, you have to define and understand about what exactly you have to need. So collection planning is to understand your organizational environment and then making the critical systems and how the critical systems are accessed, all the way will be used for understanding the security intelligence plan. Continual security monitoring, as I used before writing CSM, is an ongoing effort to obtain information vital for risk management. So basically, it's a continual process. That's why you are seeing whenever that five-stage five-stage circle, it was a continual circle because it's keep on running on it because the data collection is happening every minute. So data is getting collected, then we say about data is processing, in the same time new data is coming, then it needed to be collected. So it should be called as a continual security monitoring. And track network activity, communication, host maintenance, and operations, etc. Because it's gonna be pulling out your network device traffics. If you have any sort of host maintenances, like say in Windows machine maintenances and all these things and operational informations, it will be pulled up across. So it's because these systems, your organization is also completely running continuously. So in the same time, all the monitoring will also be continuously running. For those systems, we call it as continual security monitoring. Okay. Depth in defense approach. Basically, this approach is how we call the deny or for approach, or we call it as depth in defense only. Basically, yeah, I think we have learned it on the first module. Because in our approach, basically we put as a layered filter. That's the reason why, if you remember, I used to say that, okay, if there is a light passing through, okay, and if there is a board and there are some holes over here, it may pass through this board. But if I have another board and I have holes in different places, it will get stuck over here. It will not be able to pass this particular board, right? That's the way how this has been defined. Each layer is needed to be defined individually. Each needed to be opened individually, so that if a hacker able to compromise one layer, he will not be able to compromise with the same on the next layer, neither on the other layer, neither on the other layer. So this is how we call it as depth in defense architecture. So to give an understanding about what exactly I should do in our depth in level architecture, let's look at the diagram over here. Okay. Basically, when I say about is when we go from the down, okay, we will see about okay, the perimeter layer is basically the security policy that's which I want to define. Okay. My security policy is this. I have A, B, C. I have a backup policy. I have a restore policy. I know how to educate the users. I know. So this is my pro, uh, procedure policies layer. From that layer, I have my physical layer where I step up the guards, the logs, and access controls on my system. After my physical layer, in the physical layer security, I have like say after the physical layer security, I look for my perimeter level where the network connections will be connected. In the perimeter level, I used to put my firewalls, access control routers, and logged for looking for the security of my perimeter layer. So basically, in the perimeter layer only through which where we will be accessing, we will be used as an access point, access gateway to the network. Once after that, you have the internal network. In the internal network, you will perform network segmentation. You will say that, okay, this network is segregated in for this particular activity. We have a separate VLANs. We will put a separate VLAN for servers, for IT users, for normal users. So like that, we have segregate everything. A CCTV camera will go to a separate network. Our servers will go into another farm. So DMC will be defined. Everything will be. Post to that, we will look at the host security. So in the host security, we will look into the 5 different models of host security. Okay. Host in the sense is a machine. So how do you define a machine security? So initially, when we are doing the installation of OS, we have to perform about the operating system hardware. In the operating system hardware, we have authentication and auditing of the system, where we will mention that, okay, what is the method through which a system we should be authenticated and logged into the machine. At the same time, how it should be audited. Like what is the processor through which you should be able to audit the processor running on the system. So that will be the hardening processes. Then we will understand about the host firewall. You will have every system have their own firewall. You will not have antivirus. You have a system firewall. In the system firewall, you will be defining about what exactly you want to do. If it is a domain managed, then you will put everything onto the domain managed one, and the domain controller will be controlled. Yes, you should manage on your manually you will the host inbound and outbound firewalls. Then we have the antivirus protection, where you will install your antivirus and make sure that it is up to date on your systems. Then our IDS and IPS informations, which will help me to protect from zero-day attacks. So any other anomaly, other malicious attacks can be protected using an IPS system. Then comes our Windows or security patches. So whenever you have any patches released, it will be automatically up to date. And the system will ensure that the system is up to date before when the system is connected to your organizational network. After that, we ensure security on our data security. So we have to, in the data security, we ensure that, okay, my data is encrypted. Okay, in my system, my drive will be encrypted. Also, all my connections will be through an HTTPS channels, also, or an SSL TLS or IPsec VPN tunnels if it is required for any VPN access or other things. So SSL will be maintained for the security of any actors, any. The same time, we will ensure that we have a strong password, we have a file protection, we have a data protection like DLP solutions, which will help me to control or secure data in motion, data in rest, and data in use. So this is the depth in defense approach of the IT system. So now, in order to get this intelligence, what we need to monitor? So basically, we need to monitor the vulnerabilities, configurations, and assets of the organization, system logs and network logs, security device logs, and threat intelligence. These are the main components which I need to log to get my security intelligence. So, in an example, in an attack scenario, okay. So An advanced threat takes time and leverages the holistic attack surfaces, which means like, okay, if it is a bigger attack, then the attack life cycle is like initially it will do a reconnaissance, then it will try to do a compromises. Once it is compromised, it will be able to communicate to the command and control center. Once the command and control center is getting connected, they will initiate a keys and or codes which needed to be remotely executed. Accordingly, it will start to find out laterally move from one system to another. Then it will target any attainment where it will try to move from one target to another target. Then it will do the extractions or corruptions or they will do a distractions of the system. So in that scenario, how actually we should be able to identify? So we should be able to identify once our initial attack have been happened in our system. That means before a command and control is being triggered, before that we should be able to neutralize this attack. This will be the only way through which we can prevent data breach in our organization. That means we should be able to have proactively by using these technologies, we should be able to prevent an attack from getting successful after the worst case scenario is to have that it compromised and before getting connected to the command and control center. So this is called as the early neutralization stages of data breaches, which is to be taken care. What are the type of security tools which we can use? Basically, we can use it in three different modes. One we call it as SIM, which is a security information event management tool. Second is SCAP, which is a security content automation protocol. Third is NBAD, which is a network behavior anomaly detection. So basically, these tools helps in different forms. So some of them are going to define you about based on the logs, some of them based on the way how the functionality of the content is being handled. Some of them will be on the behavior based, like say, okay, what is the behavior which is being showing on the systems. So it depends on how you select on according to your organization. You should understand about okay, why I should select this particular incident, particular tool for this particular purpose. Let's see about what are the okay. When we say about security intelligence, so there we said that okay, we are getting multiple logs and things to make a meaning out of it, right? So what are considered as the potential sources? So basically, the potential sources are all these things. Like anything, everything in your IT can be said as a potential. When we say about logs, we can say here, okay, identity management logs. We have the operating system administration logs, like say administration happy activities happening. Malware detection logs. If you have an antivirus and there is any malware detection. Backend system logs, like say, okay, any backend application system logs. Application and system logs, your Windows or whatever, applications and system logs. Physical security logs, like somebody when your access machine, access cards, somebody able to log into your access card, somebody able to open your cabinet, somebody, so all these physical security logs. Honeypot firewall logs, IDS and IPS logs. So basically, if you look at this, 80% of the information which we are required for security intelligence are all about the logs. Okay. Then comes the file and audit directories and network audits and metadata, change management, web scans, and threat intelligence. It's like, you have a set of logs, then you will add VA vulnerability analysis, then you will add your security insight, like your findings and all these things. All these things together, you will get the security intelligences. Clear? Okay. This is a particular example of how a IBM QRadar, which is actually a software like a works. If you see here, you will be able to see all these solutions are pulling up the logs to the QRadar. So now you see from the McAfee, which is on the server farm, we have the Active Directory farm is there. We have a DDoS attack perimeter in our perimeter layer. We have a WAF in our. It is like an it is not inline mode. It is like out of the band mode. Okay. Then you have a DMC, separate DMC. So it's pulling up the logs from here. It is pulling up the logs from your networking devices and postcode, and it is pulling up from your server farms. It is pulling from your end SOC team. It's pulling from your HR machine, marketing, sales, and IT. Everything, and it is coming to centrally store it in the IBM Cura, which is a basically an SIEM tool. Okay. So you can collect two things. One is you can collect the logs. Now you can collect the flows. So you can either collect the network flows, and then from the flows you'll be able to see about the network character and the behavioral changes from there. Data collection. The more data you collect, the more it will be what you need. So basically, if you have only a bits and bytes of data, then you will not be able to get a meaning out of it. If you have hundreds and thousands of data, you'll be able to find out the real meaning behind that one, because you may miss one or two informations here and there, which you will be able to capture it in the next log files. Some data might not be helpful. Avoid monitoring. That means you have to add always filter to the log. Like say only the relevant information needed to be pushed. Shrink a balance between too much data and not enough useful data. Basically, when you are saying about collect data, collect or it will more data, which means more required data. Because when you pull up a log of a system, then it will pull up all the things on your system. What are things happening? Everything. No, you have to select only. I need security logs. I need only audit logs. I need authentication logs. Like that, I have to ensure what exactly I needed to be required for this. Ensure data collected is secure and not violated. That means any data communications should be passed from a system to another system through a HTTPS traffic. Through a HTTPS traffic or an SSL traffic. So, no. Guidelines to determine which data to collect for security intelligence. So basically, you have to understand about, okay, what type of data I need to collect to get this particular security incident. Okay. So for that, you have we can select as a 4. First thing is, shall I have to identify the risk, or I need to prioritize the risk, or identify the potential data sources, or narrow your focus. So how you are going to use this? Let us go forward. When we say about fields you should log, like say, okay, where actually should. So it looks for when the event started and ended. Who was involved in this event? What happened? Where is it happened? Where is the event originated? Basically, it's an accountability of these logs that you are getting over here. So this will be giving you an information where exactly that, okay, how should I look into this particular incident logs? So here I will say, when you see about event started and time, okay, in Windows machines or Linux machines, all this happens not in the same log file. It will be either in a different files. If you say about log files, if you go to the Linux machine and type ls /var/logs, then you will be able to see how many of the logs are there. You will have D messages, your system logs, your sys logs, your file logs, your audit logs, your login logs, your error logs, your access logs. So it depends on as much as how it will be based on the system. So from there, you should be able to initially look at when an event is started, who all accessed that event, what happened to that